Hi everyone. So today is my group to present case 6 for this tutorial. Our topic is the contradictions of export-led growth, and I'm the one presenting for my group this week. I'm Yi Xuan EEE140015. So for our conclusion, we have concluded that the trade openness and export-led growth has always been oversimplified and oversold, and we will continue with the premises for the slides after this. So for our first premise is export-led growth paradigm is exhausted as it is affected by the difference in the market conditions between emerging market and developed economies. So our sub-argument is that the financial crash in 2008 has created an overarching structural condition of global demand shortage. So we can see that the US economy is debt saturated, Europe is constrained by fiscal austerity and wedded to export-led growth via Germany, and Japan continues to suffer from weak internal demand and aging population. So we can see that the developed economies are having problem after the global financial crisis, but on the other hand, emerging economies have benefited significantly from global recovery following the global financial crisis due to higher commodity price and interstate compression produced by the crisis. So for our second premise is that the emerging economics thought that they can grow collectively, but instead they impede the recovery of developed countries. So for our sub-argument is that the emerging economies constitute a large share of global economy, that their exports are actually sabotaging the recovery of the industrialized economies. So as an example, the emerging economy share in the changing composition of global GDP rose from 39.1% in 1980 to 50.8% in 2008. So it make it difficult for the group to continue to rely on export-led growth, and hence they actually block the recovery of industrialized economies, because industrialized economies actually depends on export-led growth to recover. Yes. Our third premise is that there is a need for a major recalibration to the direction of a domestic-led growth. So for our sub-argument is that the export-led growth model relies on robust consumer markets in developed economies, particularly the United States. So actually the debt saturation of US consumers has made export-led growth not sustainable, and the author also argues that there is a need to be a shift toward domestic demand-led growth while at the same time maintaining exports. So for our fourth premise is that there's no country or region that can act as locomotive of global growth, and all of them must come together to achieve growth. For our sub-argument is, as an example, China is unlikely to become the engine of growth because the model is focused to be an assembler on supplying the consumers of industrialized countries, and hence the share of East Asian exports to China has been rising, reflecting the China's role as an assembler rather than a manufacturer. But while on the other hand, the share of Chinese exports to East Asia has been falling, reflecting China's reliance on consumers in industrialized economies such as US and Europe. So all of this means that there's no one country that can act alone to drive the economy. Everyone must come together to make the economy grow. So that's all for our premises. Now we are going to proceed for the type of reasoning. So first of all, we are getting generalization in the article. As an example, the writer uses US, Japan, and Europe to represent developed countries and China to represent emerging economies. And there are also signs of sign reasoning because as an example in the article is that US is facing debt saturation, Europe is facing fiscal austerity, and Japan is facing weak internal demand. While on the other hand, emerging economies face a better global recovery after 2009. This is a sign that there are difference in conditions in different economies. Next, we proceed to the type of evidence that we have in the article. So we found that there are few. First of all is facts. From this article at page 8, it was discussing about the impact of the size of emerging markets economies on the export-led growth through facts, through various tables. You can take a look if you are looking at the article now. It's page 8. So they use numbers and facts such as from table 3 and table 4. Another use of fact is at also page 3. They were discussing about why no one country or region can drive growth alone by through numbers and facts. So you can see the use of table 5 shows that the changing composition of East Asian exports. So the next type of evidence we found is a testimonial. So at page 9, it was discussing about the key for a successful domestic demand-led growth. Where testimony from Halley 2002. This is his own article from 2002. So now we are looking at the passages that support the article that we are doing. So this is a report from the World Bank in 2010 titled Export-led Growth version 2.0. So actually support the premise that of this article, which is the export-led paradigm is exhausted due to difference in condition for developed and emerging markets after the global financial crisis. So the passage on your right is also talking about the situation after global financial crisis. So we can see that there's been rapid growth in the BRIC's countries, and also Middle East, North Africa, and low-income Europe and Central Asia. But on the other hand, you can see at the below red block below, all of these effects exceed the combined contribution of GDP growth in the US and the EU. So basically, we can see that these developed countries are not doing well for their recovery, while on the other hand, emerging markets are doing very, very good after the global financial crisis. So another article to support our current article is about the support to our sub-argument of achieving balance between export and import. So this is an article by Jesus Philip on 2003. So you can see at its abstract, it actually mentioned that it is the need to achieve a combination between export-led growth and domestic demand-led growth. So this is basically supporting our sub-argument that there's a need to find a balance between export and imports. So that's all. Thank you. If there's any discussion or any questions, please voice out on the chat and let's discuss about it. Thank you so much from our group.